Welcome back. Another reason why Black people tend to have it worse than white people where dementia is concerned is the obvious reason of poverty, whether it's in Nigeria, other parts of Africa, or in the Western world. That poverty leads to a couple of things. It reduces your access to quality health care. I mean, if you can't pay for even the transportation to get to a hospital, you're not going to be able to see a neurologist. Now, the other thing, obviously, that poverty does is that poverty that prevents you from education. So we talk about education. Yeah, you're not as enlightened as the person who has access to funds or to resources, obviously. So you won't know about these things. And because you're poor, you may not be able to, even if you knew about these things, you're not going to be able to act on these things. For instance, I mentioned vitamin D earlier. There's no way you're going to get enough vitamin D, short of staying in the sun naked 3 to 4 hours a day between the hours of 10 a.m. and maybe 3 p.m. or 2 p.m. You're not going to get vitamin D. So you've got to take a supplement, and supplements cost money. So you got to take that. And it's not just vitamin D that's a supplement. You need zinc, you need vitamin C, you need magnesium, you need omega-3s, and you need the right kind of omega-3s. Omega-3s are one of the most important things for your brain. It helps to protect your brain. And it's not cheap. You've got some low quality ones and you've got some high quality ones. As I mentioned to you before, the best omega-3s that we use in our clinic cost $100. That's like 70,000 or is it 80,000? I don't know. I think the dollar rate came to about 900 naira to a dollar at one point. So that's like 90,000 naira for one bottle. We were giving these things out like they were candy for a long time. And that's how we started our foundation. And that's because we were fortunate enough to have donations of omega-3s. We don't have those donations anymore. But the point is that omega-3s are expensive. They're really good kinds of omega-3s. And so poverty might prevent you from taking advantage of that. Obviously, you can always reach out to us in the clinic and we can help in one way or the other, especially for your child. So that's the thing with poverty. And even poverty can put you in all kinds of other problems. So like obviously you probably won't have enough time to exercise, probably won't have enough time to go to school, probably won't have enough time to, like I said, eat a good diet that will protect your brain. Speaking about diet, the brain needs specific nutrients. You should be able to get a good diet, some of these nutrients from your food, especially plant-based foods that have a lot of these protective chemicals, brain protective chemicals, but they have to be raw. They have to be eaten raw, like in salads. Most of the times in Nigeria and Africa, in fact, we cook everything. We cook out of our foods, and we really cook them. And the next day we keep on warming, and I mean we drive the nutrients out of the foods. Most of the foods that provide healthy nutrients for the brain are raw, and so that's a problem. And I think culturally too. I remember there was one pastor who said that his grandmother told him that the only things that eat leaves and, referring to salads, are goats and sheep. Goats and sheep. So there's this kind of like we look down on raw foods. Raw foods are some of the most important things for our brains and our bodies. All right. So we talked about poverty. Another thing would be employment. There's a high less employment in African countries, especially among the youth. Think about that. If youth in their 20s and their 30s are not actively engaged at work, actively tasking their brains, that's another thing that can make you more susceptible to brain conditions in the long term. Remember, we talked about it. You have to strengthen your muscles. You have to strengthen your muscles. You have to strengthen your brain, so that your brain can serve you in the future.